What
Yes,
up?
sir.
I think I hit it twice. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get the standing ovation
The
two
claps.
times. The
Yeah.
All right, man. Welcome to the Neue.Indie, y'all. I'm your host. Or I guess one of your hosts, Deraj. And I don't know if I'm supposed to do my intro again. I feel like we did it last time. I don't know how many times you're supposed to do it until like you don't do it anymore when you're doing a new podcast.
Right.
But
Yeah. I say we just do it for now. I mean, we can always.
yeah. Well, anyway, your man Deraj. I'm excited to be here with you. My
Yes,
co-host, he
sir.
introduced himself. Who we got, bro?
Yes, sir. My name is Frank Bentley. You know what I'm saying? You know who it is. I hope y'all know by this point, but y'all get to know me on this podcast.
Yeah, excited to be here again, man. This is it feels dope because I feel like we're just kind of getting into our flow a little bit, and we had our last episode that I felt went good. I think for our first time, we'll have 100%. To hit the comments and see how well you guys think we did. You know what I'm saying?
You guys stink.
Yeah, buddy. Nah, man, but this is episode 2, and we, on the heels of the last episode, we thought it might be dope to kind of just extend the conversation. We were talking about last time, how to go full time, in your music career, and why you might be stuck if you have been trying to go full time for a while. So we just wanted to pick that conversation, back up and see where it goes, because there's a lot to say about that. I feel like, because
it's tons.
Yeah, I just feel like, again, for a lot of artists, it's it's a coveted thing. So let's just, keep unpacking it.
Yeah.
All right. So that's today's topic. We'll be part 2 in that thing. And we do have some later segments down the road. We'll be talking about music business news. We saw that Spotify has a new artist verification program. And so this is kind of more of like AI updates and a response mainly to AI. So we want to dig into that a little bit. Also in film and entertainment news, we saw that Netflix was, I guess, set to pay or bidding to pay $600 million to Ben Affleck's AI company. I saw a news headline on it, so I wanted to.
$600 million.
$600 million, man. I'm milli. Yeah, so that's a needle moving amount of money. So it's worth some conversation around it.
Some money, yes, sir.
Also, gaming, man. NBA The Run is what it's called. The Run, and people were calling it the new NBA Street. So we want to.
It's gonna be fire, bro.
Yeah, were you an NBA Street? You came up on NBA?
NFL Street, NBA Street.
Yeah, man.
I haven't lost yet. You heard? So if anybody wanna run it,
you want to smoke? You want
that smoke? Just come on over, man.
I remember I was actually pretty heavy on, definitely Street, but I was excited when Street Hoops came out.
Oh, Street Hoops was fire.
Yeah, because I feel like that one kind of reminded me a little bit more of the And One series. Like some of the moves you can hit on there, they just felt a little, I don't know, it just felt more authentic to what you would see on the mixtapes that they would do. So
was that the one you can also you have a whole story mode with that one?
I can't remember. I think so. I think so.
Crazy, yeah, innovative. For sure.
Yeah, man. That era was so dope. I remember, bro. That was like the tall T era, do-rag era, and I remember when, everybody, if you were like playing street ball, like it was like everybody's out there trying to do what And One is doing. So I remember doing off the Heezies on people and
off the Heezies.
You know what I mean? Like just disrespectful stuff out on the court. Wow. Like cats just want to square up with you. But that was, that was the 2000s, man. I remember that. What was that Nike commercial that I don't know if you remember that. I think it was Nike where it was I think it was black and white and it was very contrasted lighting and they were doing the soundtrack underneath the visuals was the basketball. So they made a beat out of people bouncing a basketball. And so they had all these different players
I remember that one.
Doing it. I got to find it. Maybe we'll find it in the mix. But yeah, I feel like you had that scene before.
I've probably seen it. Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah.
I've seen it probably.
Okay. Anyway, so that's in gaming news. In culture, I ran across this. I saw that, and I haven't verified this, but I saw that McDonald's potentially might be doing a subscription for $54 a month, $54 a month McDonald's subscription. So
Horrible.
That's
that's where we're leading to. Subscriptions for fast food is crazy.
Which I feel like I gotta. Actually, you know what? We're gonna run it. I was gonna say maybe we gotta be a little PC because we in the sick industry, so we might end up getting a placement with McDonald's.
That's facts. We love
McDonald's.
Yeah,
hey,
we
man,
love McDonald's.
I was there last night. But I do think it's worth talking about because culturally, I think that's a very interesting proposition. And then we got some updates for music for TV and film, sync licensing. So we're gonna dive into that. But also, y'all, we we're on the road to get our first 1,000 subscribers. And so if you're watching this, it would mean a lot if you just hit the subscribe button if you're getting some value. And if you want, you can do it now, but also you can wait to the end to see if that, that free subscription that we'll get from you is worth it. So we're gonna earn your subscribe.
Nah, go ahead and tap it. Just tap it. It's
go ahead, right. All right, Frank said go ahead and lock in now. But we appreciate everybody who's been watching and sharing and spreading the news. Y'all are the new indie, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
we appreciate y'all. All right. Frank, how you been, man?
1 out of 10. Been good, bro. 1 out of 10 this week. This week has been, I'll say this week's probably been at a 7. A little downgrade from last week. The family was sick.
Oh, sure.
Right after last week. So of course that pushed everything back. And you got to adjust whenever the family's sick. And then as an artist, when you're sick, you know what I'm saying? If I sound like a gremlin, I can't, you know what I'm saying? It's just different. So I give it a 7 this week. Nothing horrible, but just I guess took time to rest this week.
Yeah. Well, I haven't experienced that yet where I always hear when parents, when they have one person sick in the household, like if a kid gets it, then the whole house ends up getting it. And that's we ain't experienced that yet. But my daughter is in a phase where she's fake coughing for attention. Do your kids do that?
Yeah, of course.
Is that a thing?
That's the thing. That's the thing.
I was
fake
like,
crying,
what is
fake
this?
Coughing, it's gonna come.
Yeah,
it's gonna come. Bro.
I'm like, girl,
cough. Just say dada, and I'll come over there.
Exactly.
It's simple, but
you can't talk yet. But just come on, man.
Yeah,
step up your vocab. You don't need to be doing.
Come on, do something else. Yeah. But other than that, the week's been good. Still was able to do administration stuff, so can't complain,
good,
bro.
Man.
How's your week been? 1 to 10.
Yeah, it's been good. I think overall, so it was wild. Yesterday was a mixed bag. Today is good. Yesterday was it started maybe on a 8, 9, and then it ended on a 5 or 6.
Yeesh.
And today is good. But so yesterday I was fasting all day. I decided to incorporate fasting into my weekly routine for health reasons and spiritual fast, which I never had a consistent fasting regimen, a whole day fast type stuff.
Yeah.
But since I've been on the 75 hard kick, it's been transformative, man. So I highly recommend it. And let me know, I guess in the comments, if you've ever done 75 hard, if you know what that is. And if you haven't, what does your maybe fitness or routine look like? Because for me, 75 hard is almost more of a mindset routine. I think I might have talked about it last time. And for those who don't know, it's 2 workouts a day, 45 minutes apiece. One has to be outside. You got to drink a gallon of water a day, a bunch of stuff. You guys can look it up. But, I've lost 20 pounds doing this thing. I've been just super dialed in with my day to day. But yesterday, well, anyway, I decided to incorporate fasting as a part of just my new norm. And so yesterday was the first day I just kind of fasted for the whole day, which for me, the not eating part was actually pretty easy because I have my regimen and my eating, norm is I intermittent fast, you know what I mean? So first meal is after 12, cutoff is at 8. I'm typically doing an OMAD, so I'm only doing 1 meal a day. I just have a big meal. So, I think I've just trained my body to not be as hungry. But when I, got to the end of the day, I was fine. Spiritual disciplines was, tapped in with prayer all day. And first half of the day was good. Second half of the day, I broke a rule, Frank. I broke a rule that I set for myself. So
What you broke?
My rule is that I don't work past my working hours that I set for myself. And I highly encourage it. It's just, I feel like it's all in line too with this whole
it is
going full-time thing, because lines get really blurred.
Man.
And if you don't have a regimented like structure in your day, it can get away from you, and you just develop some really unhealthy like routines, and that's how burnout happens, and that's how you end up falling out with your family and all those other kind of things. Anyway, so super dramatic, right? But I set that rule, and actually it wasn't that too long ago, like maybe last year sometime I had decided to do that. But anyway, my cutoff time's around like 3:45, 4 o'clock, and I don't do any work after that. But I've been on this this Claude tip, you know what I mean? Like, you let me know in the chat what AI model you using. What you want? Is it GPT? You on Gemini? Is it Claude? You know what I mean? Bro. Team Claude. Yeah, I'm dog. I spent my weekend just going heavy on just the Claude rabbit hole, and boy oh boy, boy oh boy.
Listen,
man, if you are not on Claude, I'm like, there no sponsorship on this podcast form, but Claude can do some amazing things, which we'll probably get into. But anyway, I just fell down the rabbit hole yesterday during my cutoff and ended up frustrating myself going into the evening, because I'm trying to get stuff working, like automations, and because I'm very much like, dog, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir. Automate everything, baby.
Dog. And so it's just, I got deep in the weeds, and at the end of the day, I didn't even end up finishing what I wanted to do. My wife is like, hey, can you put Aloe to sleep? And I'm like, yeah, I'll be there.
It's bedtime?
I never go in to put my daughter down to sleep. I'm just.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't. But wifey took care of it. She had some grace for me and stuff like that. Yeah. But that's why I was like, all right, I gotta tighten up. So today I gotta cut off. You know what I mean? Like, I learned my lesson. We good. You know what I'm saying? But that's how. But it was frustrating at the end of the day. But all in all, today has been solid, man. It's been really productive.
Dope.
So, yeah, man. Well, man. Let's get into this next segment. I feel like I had what was my? I can't remember what my sound effect was. I think it was this one. I think this was a wild card segment. It's just a heads up too. Hold on here. We might need a new one for the wild card segment. Can you hear? Oh, you can't hear it. Hold on. I'm tripping. Not. Watch this. There it is. So that means the claps that we did at the top of the hour didn't happen.
Probably didn't.
So we'll just edit that out and post whatever.
Yeah, or add the claps in the
yeah. So anyway, wild card segment. We switched something up too. So just this is an evolving on the fly kind of podcast. So what we just did prior to our little check-in, we used to formerly called it the heat check, but me and Frank were talking like, hey, I think we might want to rebrand that and reserve that, because that's a dope name. Like, we need to reserve it maybe for like a hot or not kind of vibe. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So heat check. We'll come back to that, but right now we're doing a wild card segment. So this is when you get just random stuff from Deraj's brain or Frank's brain that we just think it might be dope to chat about. So let's see. Let's see what this is. Let's see what the wild card is. We never know. We never know what the wild card is. That's what the wild card is. It's like Uno.
Listen, let's see what we get now.
All right, let me share my screen real quick one time for the one time. Oh, this is a good one actually. So we're gonna have a fight in the comments. All right, let me hit the refresh, see if I can get this.
Rapper had the best first 3 albums.
Ooh.
Okay. So we got Kanye, we have Drake, and we have 50 Cent. Who had the best first 3? Okay. Kendrick has Good Kid, Mad City, The Pimple Butterfly.
Okay.
Damn. Mm-hmm. Ye have College Dropout, Late Registration, and Graduation. Drake have Thank Me Now, he have Take Care, and he have Nothing Was the Same. 50 Cent has Get Rich or Die Trying, The Massacre, and Curtis.
All right, I'm gonna pause it here because he goes into a whole like breakdown analysis, which I may play in a minute. But off rip, like what gut check, and maybe let's not go with who you think it is who had the best one. Maybe work backwards. Like who is definitely not in the like what's your order from least to greatest?
From least to fourth
to first. From fourth to first.
Who is not in that? Oh, that's so hard.
Actually, you don't even got to rank them. It's just which ones don't make, because I feel like you probably know who you're.
I know who my number one is.
You know who. So tell us all the ones who are not your number one. Why they are not number one for you?
50 Cent. Listen, and I'm having a hard time with this.
Respectfully,
50 Cent got to be my 4. He got to be my 4.
Oh, we have a 4. Okay.
Despite that incredible run right there.
Yeah.
Number 4. And this one's hard. Kendrick is number 3.
Kendrick's number 3. Okay.
Kendrick's number 3 just because of one album. And that might be controversial. And I'm gonna say that y'all
is it To Pimp a Butterfly? Is it that one?
It's To Pimp a Butterfly. You can rip me. You can rip me in the comment section. To Pimp a Butterfly, I like damn more than To Pimp a Butterfly. And Good Kid, Mad City is so good that it makes it hard.
Yeah.
And then Drake is my number 2.
Drake's number 2. Right. Okay.
Those
even over Kendrick.
No,
he just took an L with
he took a massive L.
We'll be talking about the top 3 albums. What are we talking about? So
right, we're talking about bodies of work. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
Like favorite person, I'm gonna take Kendrick as an individual over Drake, but album wise, these 3 albums.
He said favorite person, not even favorite artist.
Just
as a man. Let me stop.
I'll put it as a whole. I'm just kidding. I gotta put him at my 2, and Ye, despite everything that he has done. Not giving it a pass at all. But those 3 albums happened way before Ye now. That's Ye.
That's Ye.
That's bulletproof album right there in hip hop. Those 3, it's gonna be really hard to beat.
I'm not mad at that, but I guess let us know in the comments if y'all
let us know in the comments. I'll this whatever you say, I'll take it. Go ahead.
Nah, and I don't. So for me, this is like a gut check. You know what I mean? And I got a big Kanye bias. You know what I mean? Like he was the most influential artist for me coming up. Like kind of on all sides. Like he just gave me permission to like create the way that I create. But not even just that, because so here's the thing too, because I would almost say, even before Kanye, like Andre 3000 was probably that for me as well. And I didn't even realize that because I was a big Outkast fan. But when it comes to, again, first 3 albums, like for me, Kanye, like those first 3, I probably listened to way more than any of these other artists there. And again, I got a bias, but
for sure.
If I could say objectively, and I wonder, like maybe you can ask Claude, like what were like compare the sales as well, like how well.
Yeah, if you're looking at numbers, I could definitely look that up.
Hit up Claude real quick while I kind of
I got you.
Because I almost feel like our order might be the same. Because 50 Cent was last on my list, and mainly because I don't think I was as big a 50 fan. I think his first album, I was locked in on. The second 2, I can't even, not that I can't remember them, but I kind of can't remember them. But he wasn't like that type of artist for me. I think I just love what G Unit stood for, like the aggression culturally, what they did, but I didn't really lock in on his projects almost, religiously enough to be like, oh, I was on these heavy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kendrick, I almost feel like I was late to Kendrick as well, but even looking at these top 3 albums, like Good Kid, Mad City, I spent a good, decent amount of time on that. To Pimp a Butterfly is actually my wife's favorite album from Kendrick. You know what I mean? Like she was, and she grew up too in a Motor City, like Detroit area. So I think the aesthetic of it all, and just like some of the activism and very pro-black kind of, vibe, kind of set that tone for it. But it was the same thing for me. Like To Pimp a Butterfly, I think was dope.
It was dope,
culturally, but it just wasn't like it wasn't that for me. Damn was actually my favorite project, probably from Kendrick. 100%. Like I wore that one out
over Good Kid, Mad City.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's weird. I don't know why. Like
you got to run that mug back. What?
Yeah, maybe I do, but damn, I don't know why. Like, damn was really that album for me that made me really like listen to Kendrick on repeat type stuff. And
really,
yeah, man. I think the I got and the humble and like
crazy.
all these like it just did it for me for whatever reason. And then I would probably put Kendrick second for me as far as like if I'm ranking, it was like 50, Drake, Kendrick, and Kanye. I think you might have had Drake and Kanye swap, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the only reason why, because I haven't really sat with Drake's albums, to be honest. Like I've listened to them. I've loved like a lot of his singles and big hits and stuff like that. And even I feel like I was late to the game with Drake. But even when I was listening to him, and I think that might be another thing too. Like I almost feel like how you got introduced to an artist and their brand and just culturally what it did influences this probably a lot as well.
For sure.
And these are, and I'm curious, like gut checks, because you could probably, look at some data points to kind of argue this, but I'm almost like, for me, I kind of came into the game late with Drake. I was on the best I ever had was when I really got introduced to Drake. And really, because somebody told me I kind of sounded like him a little bit with some of the stuff I was doing or whatever, the whole singing rap thing. Yeah. I didn't know who Drake was. Rap.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even still, I didn't sit with them heavy. And so it was my favorite Drake album is Scorpion, believe it or not.
What?
Yeah. What's your top Drake album? My top album is Scorpion, dog.
Scorpion is crazy. Okay. Take Care is my favorite Drake album.
Scorpion
so
was
crazy.
Here. Okay, so again, so this is why I say this. Like, I had a cultural moment with Drake when Scorpion dropped because of all that was going on when Scorpion dropped. Because I think that was around like 2018 or 2017 around the time when Scorpion dropped. And this was when there was a crazy amount of like music that got dropped. It was like, I feel like it was kind of historical year. I remember doing like a little real IG reel around it. Like some years ago, because we got that whole good music run where Tiana Taylor, Kanye dropped, Nas dropped, Pusha T dropped, Kanye Kid Cudi dropped. We had the Drake and Pusha T beef where he got exposed for like his whole stuff. Like that happened. There was a lot of high profile like deaths like during that time as well. So culturally, like if you go look up like just releases, I think Nicki and Cardi dropped that year. It was crazy. And so I was just paying attention. I was drawn into this whole like beef that was going on with him and Pusha. And and also this is around the time I was watching Everyday Struggle as well. So I was getting a lot of like behind the scenes context that made me pay attention more. So I started listening to Scorpion, and I don't know what it was. It just clicked for me. And I've listened to his albums after that, but none of them really did that for me. You know what I mean? They're all good, but Scorpion was just there for me. I don't know why. Like, so
that's crazy. That's crazy. Scorpion for me was like, I ain't listening to Drake no more.
Nah,
get this mess out of here, bro. I'm sick of this.
That's crazy. Dang, bro.
Hey, but listen, I respect it. I respect it, bro.
You ain't gotta respect it, because like,
hey, it is what it is, bro.
It is what it is.
What's so crazy that I'm looking at Chat GPT right now. 50 Cent has the 3 CD era, because I know we mentioned sales. He sold the most, and it's not even close.
Like sold the most cumulatively,
between all 3.
Really?
So he got 27 million. And then the next person underneath that for all 3 is Kanye West at 18 million.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Because I know him and Kanye were like doing this head to head during that. Was it late registration or
graduation? I believe.
Okay, graduation. Yeah, and Kanye, rose
Outsold him
to the top. Yeah, but
what's so crazy about that? Kanye sold 6 million of Graduation, and 50 sold 3 million of Curtis.
okay.
So that just lets you know how crazy Get Rich or Die Trying and the Massacre went.
Right. Dang,
They
I
went
didn't realize. Yeah, they had to go. Wow.
They went dumb.
Dang.
So it's like, yeah.
Okay.
So I mean,
okay. Shout out Curtis. You know what I mean? Shout out 50 Cent
shout out
here.
50. You heard?
Yeah, he doing something right, dude. So
yeah, shout out to 50.
Clap it up. All right, y'all. So I'm not even gonna get into his spiel, but y'all, shout out to, I think his name is Ron, the comic geek or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. We'll probably see his stuff again because he has a lot of these little like what if or who do you pick or going head to head type stuff, and they're they're little head scratchers, man. Like, I don't know,
that's crazy. Make you think,
man. Make you think, and lose some friends at the same time.
Yeah, like them saying Scorpion's better than I was joking, bro.
Hey, I can't even remember what sound effect I used for the main topic last time. Let's do the I don't know. We just gonna do the horns on them.
Let's get it.
All right, we locked in today's main topic, which is a part 2 from last episode. How to go full time with your music, and why you might still be stuck. And I want to start this off a little different because last time, we just kind of ran it. This time I actually wrote down some notes and wanted to hone in on, one idea and see if we can kind of unpack it a little bit more. But, because last episode we talked about goal setting and defining success and how we're, kind of too busy. We're too busy chasing somebody else's definition of success, and having that clarity is, something that helps give you a North Star when you're trying to, get your footing and go full time. But I found this artist on IG. I got the algorithm hit me with them, and his name is Max Bennett Kelly, I believe. So shout out Max. And he was just kind of explaining his journey as a full-time artist and having to, downgrade a situation because everything wasn't what it seemed. So let's hear from my guy real quick.
I broke my lease. And not only did I break my lease, I broke my lease on the coolest apartment that's ever existed. But you know what? I can't afford it anymore. So for context, I have not had a job in like 6 years. I've been a full-time artist. And in that time, my numbers on Spotify and stuff may not show this, but I've been really good at making money as an artist. And that was something that had just snowballed every year. I kept making more and more to the point where I thought a $2,900 a month apartment was financially feasible. And it was, because I had a deal. Bro, I was supposed to, it was like 6 songs for $300,000. I was supposed to come in November. I had a Twitch deal where I was going to be making $250 an hour. I had a voice acting gig, which you will not find because it's under a fake name, but I was making $1,000 per episode. I was just ready to be making like big money. And then it all fell apart. None of those things came through. I haven't made $1 since May, and I've just been draining my savings on this place, waiting for some Hail Mary moonshot to come clutch like it always had. But it doesn't. And I somehow got lucky enough for 6 years to think that that was just going to keep happening to me. And then now I'm like, well, how do I pay for this place? I focus so much on making money that I stopped focusing on why I got into this in the first place, to make music and build a career. And it's weird because those things seem aligned, right? Like make money, have a career. But when everything falls apart, I'm like, where did my listeners go? I never built like a live show presence. I never did any of these things that I actually wanted to do. And my life has just become pay for an expensive place, gamble on miracles happening so that I can get a big lump sum of money once or twice a year and expand my lifestyle. And now I'm at the point where I'm not even making music. I've been thinking so much about how to make money that I don't do the thing that I came here for. It's just stupid. So I'm restructuring my life. I'm getting rid of this place. See my boxes. I'm going to get a cheap place that I can pay for with like 3 days of like hourly work if I need to. And I'll spend my time making music again and bringing it all back together. And the whole reason I came here in the first place. So anyway, the illusion of stability is an illusion even in a salary job, but especially in
Wow.
Wow. So you making money don't mean you building
anything.
That was a crazy ending.
That's a crazy statement. Yeah.
What's your thoughts on this initially? And shout out to Max Bennett for just the vulnerability to share this out. Because some people wouldn't, like, they'll fake the funk and keep you know, putting out to everybody that all is well, but
All is
he's,
well.
you know, vulnerable enough to kind of, you know, show the
Man,
real.
I think that mentality right there is the difference between the people who make it and who find the success that they're looking for and the people that don't. Because in a moment like that, it would be so easy to just quit, where it's like, dang, these things that I didn't plan on happening,
Right.
didn't happen the way I wanted it to. And instead of quitting, he adjusted. And I think
Yeah.
the beauty in that is that he didn't lose sight of the big picture. And I think, just to encourage any indie artist that's watching it, you can legit have something today. And like I always tell myself, this basket, because I like to, don't put your eggs in one basket. This basket is not going to last forever. I don't care what deal it is. It's not going to be forever. They can drop you. You might not see the success, and just seeing him pivot alone and that mindset switch is the key takeaway from this video, and just to keep the ball rolling.
Yeah. I appreciate his candor with it all, and even kind of unpacking all of the different revenue streams that he had, because he had a pretty dope situation.
He had a diverse bag, yeah.
And he was running it for 6 years, and so where my mind went initially as like a knee jerk, I was kind of analyzing some of the logistics of his life, because he had what it seems like is that the apartment may have been he almost like it's almost like he needed to go through the process to arrive at where he was now, because what I would have probably advised was where he ended up. Like, how can you really live off of a portion of the revenue that you're bringing in, so that it's way more manageable, so that if something did fall from under you, that you have, again, if you have a surplus coming in, because that was something I had to learn when we first started coming into some money, when we started doing licensing. We went and and we were people who were pretty dialed in with our budget, so we thought, but yeah. for all intents and purposes, we were pretty frugal. Like, we were on the Dave Ramsey kick and all this kind of stuff. Like,
oh, it's not okay.
It was strict, you know what I mean? But we laxed up a little bit once we got into real estate, and we bought our first home. And again, we were renting out rooms, and so we weren't paying a mortgage. So that was one thing that we kind of did that helped us out. And then scaffolded to another property and rented that one out, and kind of did the same arrangement in the new house. But where it started to unravel a little bit is when we got a little bit deeper into real estate, and we're doing our first renovation, and then we're doing our second renovation, and we're paying for all of this stuff like cash, and we put probably $100,000 just like cash into these renovations, which I would probably never do again. Not because it's like, if you got it, you got it. But I think I might have leveraged our capital a little differently during that time, because we could have kept our the cash that we had to then leverage other people's money, and then and also we probably might have made some different decisions. But either way, it's a little double-edged sword. I do like that we don't have to pay anybody from the loans we took out to do the renovations. But
facts, yes.
So that is one benefit of it, which I appreciated. But it also put us at a really financially insecure place. Even when we were bringing in good money, I had like probably the highest grossing year that I ever had, and I was immensely stressed out because we were feeling paycheck to paycheck, and I'm the only source of income, and my wife is in another state, and we're paying for her her apartment up there, and then we got another house that's not making revenue, and we're floating that mortgage, and we got just expenses going out for repairs and all this other stuff. So it just put us at a place where I'm just like, dog, I would have did this. So all that to say, I kind of like, we almost needed that process to, get a better awareness. You don't know what you don't know until, you're faced with it.
You do it.
But I would have probably advised that, where he arrived at is like, hey, how do we really dial in our budget to this? Like, say like, yo, what can we really afford in this time? Like, let's, really dial up our, and I don't know, he might've done this, I mean, I'm just speculating, but having, a good buffer of, savings, because if you're bringing in the type of money he was talking about bringing in, and this is why I highly recommend this book called Profit First, because it as a business owner and even as like an entrepreneur and stuff like that, there's not, there probably are more resources about it now, but it doesn't seem like it's a common thing to teach you how to manage let alone how to manage your household budget, but how to, manage a business budget.
Right.
That is another thing I think I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I had no real, because it's just me, you know what I mean? Like we don't have, I have team members, but we don't have any full-time like W-2 employees, like everybody's contract,
right.
You know what I mean? But even still within that, I have some recurring team members, but it's like, how do you allocate all of this new money that you're getting into the proper places where you're saving for taxes, in a healthy way, where you're saving for, we're actually not even just saving for tax, but you're actually saving for your profit. You know what I mean? Like what profit you get as a owner or operator of your business, like what is that profit that you can pull from? How do you save for taxes? How do you save for operating expenses? How do you save for, or how do you know how much even to put aside for all of those different buckets? So that's one thing, but just being able to have that time to kind of like understand what can we truly live off of, to be comfortable and content, and then keep scaling and scaffolding our income where maybe a $2,900 doesn't feel like a $2,900 because we have enough, things. And he made some, maybe I'm curious your thoughts about this. He said the illusion of stability. Like what do you think about that? I thought that was interesting. I have thoughts about that, but
I think the illusion of stability is, I think, especially as an entrepreneur, there's this idea that you're going to always be at a place, like I had mentioned before, where things are going to go the way, you had planned them to. And I think it's important to know that everything is not going to flow the way you plan it. I mean, the best thing that you can do is to, and I tell my wife this all the time, like life is kind of like a boat, and problems are like the holes in the boat. You know what I'm saying? You can't ignore them, because then you'll sink. But to anticipate every hole that's going to pop up, you're not going to know. You have to be able to adjust and pivot to then keep the ship going. And I think as an entrepreneur, you are in a unique space, and as a new indie artist, because you don't have, and I think you could probably speak to this, where you don't have a paycheck that comes every 2 weeks. And this might be a whole nother conversation where, you're different. You're different.
But go ahead. We'll talk about it, but go ahead.
Yeah. So for me, I don't have a paycheck that comes every 2 weeks. I have to plan appropriately as bills come on. Does that add additional stress? Yes. Yeah. Is there times where I'm like, dang, I need this check to come now, but the company's like, well, it's coming on the 15th. I need it on the 8th. You know what I'm saying? You run into those things, and I think you just have to learn how to maneuver and think ahead as an entrepreneur. And that is just having self-awareness as an entrepreneur, what your life looks like.
Yeah.
To then make that. And if that does not work for you, then you have to find a system that does work. Yeah. You have to find a way to, okay, every time you get paid, this is the money that goes here. No matter what, you don't touch it, because when this happens, I can cover it.
Yeah. 1,000%. Like it's interesting to me, because he said the illusion of stability, which is it's real. Not and I don't think that you can't have stability. Like, and there's people in this world where money is not an issue. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not like there is that reality that is possible for you. You know what I mean? I don't ever want to limit anybody. Like, there is a way to get to a place where maybe that is not the problem that's most
100%
prevalent in your situation. Maybe it's other things, but I do think on the other side, it's kind of that nothing's ever promised. You know what I mean? Like, stuff could happen, God forbid, and I think that's more of maybe what he was saying. But but I know also that's the desire, I think, of just people culturally, but also more so for people in a creative industry like we are, trying to monetize in a predictable way, like they may be used to, with a 9 to 5. And what you were talking about, how you saying like every 2 weeks, I actually pay myself once a month. but I do have I'm actually, I lied earlier. I'm the only employee of my business because we set ourselves up as an S corp, and so I have payroll that we run, but I'm the only actual employee of the business. So, and because of tax, I have to pay myself out a regular salary.
Yes.
But there's also distributions that I take, and that's the profits. I wish it's a whole nother thing, and that's why I say that Profit First, book is really dope because it helps you understand. I feel like a lot of like early entrepreneurs and startups and like they forego kind of like paying themselves out from the business in order to grow the business, which is, kind of understandable early on because you want to, the mindset is like run lean, like let's front load everything to getting this thing off the ground. And, when it starts to produce whatever that, revenue number is, I'll start pulling more of what I feel like I'm owed and but the problem is that most people never really get there. And that's kind of what the book is arguing is like, we never get to that place of, hey, I'm paying myself what I feel like I'm actually worth. And you actually should be paying yourself the most out of anybody on your team because like you should be the most valuable in the company because it's your 100%. Company. Without it, it wouldn't exist. And
it shouldn't flow. Right.
Yeah. But that's where the distribution side comes in, this whole like setting aside a portion of, the revenue that's coming in as profit because it's building in that future habit of you got to start paying yourself from the business from day one because that's essentially what it's built for. Or one of the things it's built to, to fund your livelihood and to feed your family, all that kind of stuff. And if you aren't actually, taking the time to, set it up like that. And that's why, I love the banking software that we have called Mercury. I think I might have talked about it last time. It just auto allocates based off of certain percentages. So it's like kind of automatically happening. So I'm forcing myself to save for different areas of the business.
Beautiful.
Which I'm actually just doing it. I had this idea, but I'm going to, make it, make myself accountable to it right now. I'm actually going to put together a budgeting workshop and the framework that I use within my company and the tools that because it's immensely helpful. You know what I mean? Because I went from like having almost like I think it was like a $15,000 tax bill one year that I did not have the money at the end of the year. You know what I mean?
Been there.
To like now I had like this year we probably had like up to 60 grand just saved for taxes, you know what I mean, that we were ready to pay. But it was because tools in the bank account like Mercury that really helped force those saving habits and allocate our funds. So it's dope. So I want to put together something like if you look in the show notes, I'll put together a free resource for y'all. Like you just download it and it'll go through the framework that I use to help me, really prioritize prioritize our cash flow in the right bucket so that we're not chasing ourselves all the time. And it's a good discipline to start now, even if you're not bringing in, a lot of revenue. It sets that foundation. It's stuff that I wish I'd have known earlier. So I'll drop that in. And also too, I think I was going to shoot this as like an ad later on, but I'm just going to talk about it now since we're in the flow. I'm also going to put a link in the below for Mercury as well, because Mercury is running a thing where if you sign up through, we have it is an affiliate link. So if you sign up, you'll get, I think, $250 cash if you deposit like $10,000 within the first 90 days or something like that. So y'all will get $250, we'll get $250. So if you do, cool, it'll help the show. But even still, I kind of don't even, I'm not pushing it for that reason because it's, $250. But at the end of the day, I swear by Mercury. Like it's just changed how, like we use it on our personal side, we use it on the business side. And it's just, I don't really think a lot about how the finances of our business are, being shuffled around. Like it's kind of like we set it up once and it's just on autopilot. So it allows us to focus more on the things that we want to focus on and not the books. You know what I mean? Like, so anyway, so that's that. And this is actually not what I wanted to stay on for as long.
No, you're good. I think it's really it's needed. That's a missing piece in a lot of conversations that are happening around indie artists. we don't talk about how to manage your money properly. They tell you all the cool stuff. The back end is what.
Yeah.
So that's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was the pain of having to go through what we went through that got me to
be like that.
Yeah. Hiring our financial coach. We had a financial advisor that was advising us like, hey, you might want to like sell, you know, one of the houses and stuff like that, or something like this to get to a place. And we were just like, we want to, you know, wait, because we were just very much, you know, attached to that. And it was a bit of that identity too, like, oh, we own property, you know, some kind of stuff. But
right, for sure.
It just, you know, it came to a point where it wasn't serving us in the way that we had. Maybe it did initially. And I even talk about later on how it did end up serving us. But we were talking with her, and she actually alley-ooped me over to a financial coach who could help us like really understand and figure out how to manage the now. Because financial advisors are going to help you on the future stuff. You know, financial coach is going to help you in your day-to-day, like what you need to be focused on right now. And that helped us unlock. And he was the one that kind of helped me understand the profit first model. And I was like, dog, I wish I'd have understood this early on, because I'd have saved myself a lot of headache. But certain things you just aren't ready for until you're ready for it.
And you don't know it. You got to learn it in real time. Yeah.
Yep. And then, so that got us to the one place, and then scaffolded us to being to have like a business, you know, consultant that we work with that helps us now, like vision cast with the business and how can we bring in more cash flow and all this other kind of stuff. So really, really dope stuff. And let me pivot a little bit to what we actually were. I don't even know how long we've been going on this. Like,
no, that was great. That was great.
We have our timelines for these segments, but I like just the organicness of this whole thing, because you never know where conversation is going to go.
Right. And people will appreciate that info.
Yeah. So again, last episode, we were talking about just goal setting, defining what success looks like for you, not chasing somebody else's version of success. And I wanted to give an example of what that was, because I had that revelation moment. I think you did too as well, Frank, where, you know, I had when I got my first placement with ESPN, that's what kind of sowed a seed for me. And, you know, I had, you know, been doing the label thing for a couple of years and just kind of felt like I hit a ceiling, and it just wasn't serving my expectation of whatever I wanted my music career to look like at that time anymore. And also, you know, I had new dynamics in my life where it, you know, newly married, you know, I was entering into my early 30s. So my goals were changing. You know, I also realized I didn't want my income to be contingent on social media, touring, streaming, having a huge fan base. And I was really interested in getting my music in TV and film and monetizing from home. You know what I mean? So my goals were really evolving. And that's why I say, like, we had to like identify what was important to us and also what our definition of success was. And when I started to put all those pieces together, was like, you know, I didn't want to, you know, tour anymore. I didn't want to do streaming anymore. I didn't want to do the label thing anymore. Like, I wanted, you know, I'm getting older. I want to spend more time, you know, with my family in meaningful ways. And what the thing that made the most sense for me was learning how to get my music in TV and film, because that checked all of those boxes for me. Like, I didn't need all of that stuff to be successful. That was the bet that I had, and that's what I was learning on the way. And also I realized like it's way easier to get a placement as an indie artist versus trying to get like 100,000 followers or 100,000 streams or any that kind of stuff.
Yes,
you know what I mean? So it's just, you know, it just felt like a more efficient approach for my life. Like, that was my definition of success. Like what were those goals for you that kind of made you like re-pivot, you know, your strategy?
Bro, it's almost a mirror to what you said. Around the time, for me, I had just gotten married. And within the first 2 years of me getting married, I was like, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, most people don't know this, is that me and Frank go like way back. He was actually there. I always say like it's the first night where I really got to know my wife over at, I don't know if you remember Dinah's
house. Yeah, Dinah Creel,
out in Tampa. Like, that was the first time I met my wife, and Frank was there. You know what I mean? Like, he's Inception type stuff. Anyway, but go ahead.
Yeah. I was there when we was like, hey, we gonna go here.
Yeah, y'all was plotting. Yeah. Because you knew my wife. Yeah.
We was plotting. We took that whole thing up.
That's
yeah, for me, I knew there's an aspect of, yes, as a dreamer, you know, as you're at a 9 to 5, you're like, I want my life to look like this. And then when you start seeing life goes on and you take on other responsibilities and things change. Like for me, it was getting married, having a wife. And then now I have somebody who's depending on me. I can't, I can't just do these shows for $100
right.
And it fly. Like it's gonna fly for a little bit, but after a while, it's gonna be like, hey man, that's not.
When you start breaking that down into like how much you're getting an hour, it's just like,
bro, it's insane. I'm there for 5 hours. You gave me $100, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
we get 25 cents an hour. What we do? How that math work out?
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. But I think for me, at that moment, balancing the responsibilities. At that moment, I was like, okay, what's the best ROI? And then you get your first sync placement, and then they send you the email with the amount that they're gonna pay every person, and you're like, hold on, bro.
Yeah,
I made this song last year. I didn't like it, and they just took it and they gave you 5 figures for it. You're like,
that's a whole
this
fact.
Is kind of crazy.
That's a whole fact.
Yeah.
It's like music for TV and film. Like you don't even always gotta like the music. And that's
you don't gotta like it.
I don't say I hate to say that. I like to say that because I think it opens it up where artists know that, man, if that got placed, I know I got a chance with this thing. And it's the difference between, $500, $1,000, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000. You know what I mean? Like it's just
higher,
these songs that you don't like. It's like they're making a lot of money.
Man, listen.
So you know what I mean? But you don't have to be. My bad. I was like, you don't have to be the version of that's making, music you don't like, but
right for me.
But I have songs that I'm just, I wouldn't put it out as Deraj, but I'm meeting a need, you know what I mean? And it's serving the brand and they paying for me, feed my family.
100%.
But I cut you, go ahead.
No, you good. It's a great segue because once you see that, you're like, hold on. Okay. So I had this idea of how it was going to look, but this is like a doable plan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not relying on luck because let's be honest, there's some luck in there. Like there's definitely preparation and then talent. And when those meet, you put in the work, you get it. But there is some luck involved in terms of that. But when it comes to like sync licensing specifically, I'm not saying that's the only means that I chose. But when you see that you can actually work towards something and the return on it looks like this, once I seen that was all she wrote.
Yeah. So it's case in point, it's just good to re-audit like what it is that you're actually after and what does success look like for you. So that's we talked about it a lot last episode, but I wanted to really unpack the one thing that helped me. So we had a different focus for this episode, but I want to talk about the one thing that helped me leave my job, where I was barely making, $40K a year, being able to transition to going full-time as an artist, working from home and getting a consistent multi-six-figure income. And for me, that thing was, let me see if I find my little sound effect. Is this it?
Let me see.
Oh, that was the wrong one. It was supposed to be this one. It's supposed to be this one right here. It's focus. That's the one thing that really helped me see that reality of going full time was focus,
for sure,
and not just focus, relentless focus. And all right, so why I say focus? I actually had a mentor of mine, and actually I mentioned in the last part. Like she has had probably the single most. She's probably the single greatest influence in a sense of just my mindset and how I attack. My business came from her. And she's an attorney, and she ain't hurting for money. You know what I mean? But she saw a lot of me early on, but she also saw some areas of opportunity for me where she was like, hey, if you really take the time to focus, you know what I mean? Because I was that, which are like a lot of other artists, you know what I mean? Or a lot of creators really. Like I was doing design, I was producing music, I was writing music, I was doing photography, I was doing motion design, I was doing branding, I was working a 9 to 5, I was signed to a label, I was selling merch, and that list probably
wearing all the hats, bro.
I was doing everything, and she was just like, when you really take the time to dial in and focus, on that one thing that is really that you can identify is really going to bring the most amount of whatever you're looking for in your life, that's when you're going to see the success and what you're actually after. It's that idea, and it's I think it's a cultural thing, but it's also a creative thing where we just got our hands in a lot of stuff, and we think in order to rise to the top and get to where we need, we got to have our hands and spin all these plates and stuff like that. And it really wasn't until I gave myself the permission. This is what I invite all of our listeners to do, like giving yourself the permission to stop doing, 6 things at once. You know what I mean? It's like identify what is that one thing, that main thing, you know what I mean, that, you just have the assumption could potentially like change your situation. What is that? And give yourself some time to actually, be in it and focus on it to see, yourself accelerate in that thing. Or potentially, not, and we're going to talk about it in a minute, but like, how does focus, kind of resonate? Like when that whole idea of focus comes up and what we do, like, and with it helping towards the full-time agenda, like what does that look like in your world?
Focus.
Or what thoughts around it?
I would say focus is the driving force for all of it. I mean, because the lack of it, you won't see any scaling, you won't see anything grow. And I think focus is, it's the thing that keeps the wheels turning in regards to your success, whatever that might look like. And then focus. What do you want to focus on? And I think a lot of times we had to be the cameraman. We had to be the videographer. We had to be the designer because we had to focus on something, and we wanted to be artists or whatever have you. And we felt like the need was to be all those things. But the most growth that I've seen in my life is when I just focused in on myself, or yourself being an artist, or yourself being a videographer, whatever that might look like. Because you can then put all of your time and energy into that. So I think focus is extremely important. I don't think.
Tough. Like, not to cut you too, I feel like it's tough to talk about too, because I don't want people to check out when we say focus, because it's just like, oh, of course you got to focus. You know what I mean? Like, what is that? How's that really? Because it's
what does that look like?
And I want to dig into that. And but I will say the single, like, I'm always making these very definitive statements, so you'll probably hear a bunch of
yeah.
But one of the probably high on the list that helped me to go full time was focus. And what focus looked like was like really saying, all right, I'm not going to be doing shows. I'm not going to be trying to run up my Spotify. I'm not going to be, trying to grow my fan base. Like, I'm not going to be doing all these, because they're all individual strategies in and of themselves. But trying to like prioritize, like, what is that one thing? And for me, it was, licensing.
Right.
I went very deep, you know what I mean? And what I love about it is that it just gave me the permission to, really stand by my yeses and no's, or even know what to say yes to and what to say no to, because it was like, if it wasn't, supporting that goal of trying to get my music and TV and film, I'm not adding it to the plate. And I gave myself a timeline as well, in which we're going to talk about in a minute. But let's maybe I don't know if you had anything to add to that.
No, and that's great for takeaways. Like, focus looks like exactly what you said, and answering the question of what it is that you actually want. I think you answered that, and you went only for that. And I think that's what focus should look like. Erase all the noise, and put all your eggs in that.
Yeah, and it feels, I think, uncomfortable sometimes, because I think we're just trained to, well, I gotta kind of do it all, especially as an artist. You know what I mean? It's like, well, who's going to be doing all of the other things that needs to happen? So I do want to get into some of the questions that might come up when some of the questions you may have, some questions you maybe didn't think to ask, but I was just ideating through this, and I came up with 4 in particular. It was like, well, how do you know what to actually focus on that's going to bring like some real results, and you're not just spinning your wheels? Also, just how do you do this thing? Like, if you are focusing, like, how do you do this as an indie with limited resources? So you might be focusing on one thing, but you have supplemental things that maybe need to support the one thing that you're focusing on. So how do you incorporate that? Also, what if you put so 2 other things, like, what if you put all this time and focus into this thing and it bombs? You know what I mean? It's like, now I'm out 6 months or a year or 5 years or whatever it is that you dedicate this thing. Like, what do you do with that when you've chosen to only focus? Like, you've been very exclusive. I'm only focusing on this. And then, which this last question kind of goes into is like, how long, is too long to try and build something? Like, how do you know when to pivot if you are focusing on something? Like, is it just until you hit a grave, or is there some cutoff time, or we get like, is it measurable? How can we? Maybe we can unpack those. Maybe question by question. The first one I had was, how do you know what to focus on? And the things that come to mind for me was, I wrote this down, just going back to your goals and your definition of success, what we talked about, like that. It's really like everything kind of starts from there. Like I wouldn't move too far in your music journey without taking some time, like what Frank was saying, in the last episode, like write it down, like make the vision plain, dream big, what I mean? Reverse engineer, like ask other people, like get enough data to have an educated, as much as you can, educated system or educated awareness of just like what you're trying to do, where you're trying to go. I mentioned just interviewing people that you see as successful in areas that you're interested in. Like maybe we could talk about that, because that was something that was really pivotal for me, because like when I was interested in licensing, I was trying to talk to anybody and everybody who was remotely close to it. Was that the same for you, or what?
Yeah, I'm kind of still like that.
You would say, bro.
Yeah.
Same. So I said, interviewing people that you see as successful in areas that you're interested in, because it could be a new venture, and interviewing those people will expose whether or not you're actually, you still want to pursue that particular direction, because they could expose some realities as you're like, oh, I didn't realize it was like that.
Yeah, 100%. Like, that might not be what I want. Ooh, man. You hear some horror stories.
Yeah. It's like I didn't know that I had to, when we started, doing real estate and stuff like that. Like I didn't know I had to, build all these systems, and I had to hire a project manager, and I had to, like we were doing all these renovations and stuff like that. I was on site, because it was our first one, and it was just a mess. We had to fire a contractor, and all it was just, it was. We didn't do that, because I told it. I learned my lesson with doing home repairs. Like I'm not the home repair guy. I'm handy if I need to be, but
if you have to.
We tried to paint, like when we got our first house, I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna paint the inside, the house, the walls and all this kind of stuff. We started with one room. We did that one room. I said, I'm not painting any more walls in this house or in any other house ever again for as long as I live.
There's somebody that can do this.
I will get my income up and pay the person to go fix this thing. I'm not the DIY. But another thing I was saying, how do you know what to focus on? Again, just getting educated about that thing so that you can make a educated decision of whether or not it's for you or not. But watching trainings, doing free webinars will help you know and see what it is that you may want to gravitate to. And the last thing I put on here is just pick. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just gotta lock in and just not let analysis paralysis, be the real. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to give yourself permission at the end of the day, because these decisions typically and usually aren't the end of the world. And, you'll know if it's not working for you, and it's okay, you know what I mean, to try something and then pivot and try something else, and even potentially come back to it. You know what I mean? Like I've done that. I've done things where I tried it, liked it, said I would never do it again, got away from it, and I did it again, and just did it a different way. You know what I mean?
You're better when you do it the next time. Yeah, for 100%. I'll piggyback off that too. I feel like I'm a big write it down, like not on your phone, not in notes. I'm talking about old school. Grab a pen and paper and write. If you can do it in one sentence, specifically about your journey as career path or whatever you're trying to do, what would your ideal life look like? Just write it out. Just say, this is what you would do when you wake up. This is what you would hope you were going to do. I was hoping I'd do an interview. I hope my music is here. And that right there, if you can, I promise you, if you're listening to this, grab a pen and paper and just do it, and you'll be surprised. One, either you don't know what the heck you want to do, or you're more in line with your plan than you think you are, and you're able to write it down. And if you're asking what should I focus on, you'll literally write it down and your dream is on the paper and you can just chase that specifically. Now, that is a broad brush of that doesn't equal execution. You know what I'm saying? You got to go out there and execution isn't, it might have success, it might not. But just in terms of that first question, writing it down would be great.
Love it. Yeah. So the second question I had on there is, how do you do this as an independent artist with limited resources? Because that's a real thing. It's like, and I feel like every creative also has these grandiose visions of like to execute their art and the reality of just maybe not having the resources to be able to do it. So how do you wrestle with that reality? And some of the things I've wrote down, we talked about a little earlier, I do think sometimes it's budgeting, the resources that you do have better because, like I mentioned earlier, we were bringing in a lot of money, at one point in time, but it didn't feel like it because we didn't have the proper grasp of what our money was actually doing. And we didn't have as dialed in of a game plan of what we were going to do with our money. And so it just told us what to do versus the other way around. Right. And I do think locking in your personal budget with, you got a significant other, y'all lock in. Like I do highly recommend Dave Ramsey because he has some very practical ways of how to, do that. And another thing I would say is focusing in on one area at a time is something that that came up where if sometimes we think we need more resources, but sometimes that, what's perpetuating that thought is all of the things that we feel like we have to do, you know what I mean? And that's where I think it goes back to like, once you realize what it is that you have to focus on, you start to reverse engineer and also being really honest, like, what do I need to do? And do I actually is there another way, a more cost efficient way in this season to be able to execute this thing? It doesn't always have to be the latest and greatest. You can get scrappy and it's okay to kind of do that. If it's, if it's still getting you the results that you're after, why not? Why not? Yeah. Another thing I put on here is if you, and I'm the king of this, like, I feel like I've always been very resourceful throughout my whole career. Like, making myself look maybe even bigger than what I was. And I just leveraged, some of my skill sets. Yeah. But all that to say is just like, being resourceful, what you have, you're all uniquely gifted. But I will say leveraging like tech and automations can talk to me
100%. You're hitting the nail on the head. Go ahead.
Because we were at the time, I mean, before we started rolling, and actually when we started, I was talking about Claude and and again, everybody has a different opinion about AI, but I just look at technology as a help for being able to add more value and doing things more efficiently and saving time to do the things that I'm most fitted to do, and also gives me time to spend with the people that I most love and do the things that I really want to do. Yeah. So, but also why I say tech is that, if you're a, entrepreneur, music artist, and you yourself are a business, there's a lot of, damn near free resources out there that will save you a ton of time and just make execution of whatever it is. So, you're trying to, like we're talking now in our ecosystem of like how to leverage Claude, which is like, a $20 membership at a conservative route. We have the $100 one, but even ChatGPT, what I mean? It's like you can do it for $20 a month, wherever. They're really helpful, but you can integrate different agents to deploy and do things on your behalf. Like I ran Claude last night and it was, working while I was sleeping. I woke up and the task I had it do was done.
It was working. It was
and
crazy.
It's not that expensive. And and those things are worth time, worth your time to set up once to be able to work for you ongoing. So I'm like the king of systems and automations to get to buy back your time. Even, case in point, like for the community Rep.Indie that we run, like, and I hear this a lot. People say like, man, it seems like you got a lot going on. Like you got an agency, you're an artist, you know what I mean? It's like you're a father, you got a whole community. Like you guys are, it's just a lot in my world. But for me, it doesn't really feel like a lot. And it maybe just because it's my it's my journey. So it's my
Right.
tolerance level is different, but
Right.
also I've gained more of my time back, even though we do more, and it's because of the systems that we built on the back end. Like we use ClickUp to do all of our task management for our team, and there's tons of automations that run. We build written SOPs for the day-to-day activities that need to happen, like within our community, so much so that my involvement really with the community is showing up once a week to teach, you know what I mean, and doing our monthly calls. So I'm not really in a lot of the day-to-day. Like I engage within the community, but that's like 5 to 10 minutes out of the day. And then I spend like 2 hours talking to the students, but everything that makes the community run, we built a system for. So I still have time, with my family. And so there's a lot of other cases, like even our virtual writing camps that we do, Frank, you know what I mean? Like that whole back end process is a system. Crazy. Like so much so like Frank, I brought Frank in to actually be, to help A&R some of the records that we're doing for our catalog. And so we got like 20, how many, it's like 10 artists, 10 producers.
Yeah.
Which in and of itself is a lot. It's like you're dealing with that many personalities, people, yada, yada. But we have a system where we bring everybody together and they're all cooking up, and there's a system for reviews and da-da-da. So much so like this last camp that we ran, like this was the first time we wanted to test, and everybody knows is like the goal was for this not to be the Deraj show. Like we wanted to figure out a way for this thing to run, you know what I mean? And put everybody in position. And literally I hadn't heard any song. I wasn't a part of any of the conversations until like maybe a couple of weeks ago. And we were running this camp for like a month and a half. But it was so much so that, everybody was in position. Everybody's doing what they wanted to do and what they love to do. And it worked for everybody. And me as business owner, I was able to get my team to be able to like work in a way that was, efficient, streamlined, and produce some fire records. You know what I mean? Like, so systems, automation, tech, leverage
changes
it because
everything.
You are more, you have more resources than you realize sometimes. And the last two things I put, sometimes you can barter services as well. So you don't always have like value looks different. Bartering is a thing. And then I would say offloading, certain responsibilities. So if you're used to writing and producing, pick one and offload the other one.
And let somebody else handle it.
Yeah, man.
And that's what I was going to say in terms of the automation. I mean, especially as a business owner, it looks one way, and then automating it maybe just as an artist, you can automate your emails. You don't got to worry about sending out those emails all by yourself individually. I mean, you should tailor them. Don't get me wrong. You should definitely be a part of it. But as an artist, you can automate what you're going to do for that day. You can automate your calendar, everything. Those are amazing tools to use to just be better. And then for me, I would say collaborating.
Talk to them.
Is the thing, bro. Like if you're, and I think oftentimes we look at, dang, I wish. There's one guy that I love watching his stuff, Jacob Owens. He's a videographer. And it's like, dang, I want him to shoot my stuff. Well, there's Jeff,
Jeff
at
Owens.
your church, Jeff Owens, at your church that's trying to learn the camera, and he needs you so that way he can start his business just as much as you need content. Don't shoot that high. There's a lateral person that you see them reach this point, and they're good. You know what I'm saying? They're good, and they're learning at the craft. And so it's like, you know what? You could leverage. You could be that body for them to get work and collaborate laterally instead of trying to look up all the time. Because if you don't got the funds, you ain't got the funds yet. You know what I'm saying? Yet is the word. You know what I'm saying? So collaborate like that. You'll be surprised, like how far you can get with just call Jeff instead of Jacob.
Hit them IG hashtags too, because you'll find people who are doing design, doing branding, doing producing, whatever, and they may not have a huge following. They may be starting out. I've done that early. I even did that now. There's people who just aren't that far along, and they're just looking for opportunities and outlets to be able to grow their craft and win-win.
And they be people that study it too, like they're in it. So trust that.
Yeah. Let's try to get through these next two questions. I do want to get to our news segments. I love this. We always end up ranting a lot more, but this is
it's all good.
It's what it's built for, man. That's how you know. You know what I mean? We do what we're supposed to do. We just lose track of time. Last two questions that probably come up with, trying to figure out focus. This third one was, what if I put all this time and focus into it and it just, it tanks, it bombs. And that's a real thing, because I don't think anybody, I'm one of them ones, like, I hate inefficiency. I hate, putting all this energy to something like that. And I think that's why I was frustrated so much at the top of the hour when I was talking about my Claude situation. My anxiety didn't come from the fact that it was taking, well, actually, no, it did come from, it was taking too long. And like the expectation I had, like, this thing is supposed to save me time. And now I'm actually not wasting more time. It's taking more time to get this thing, locked in. So I get it. You know what I mean? Like I'm fierce around my time, you know what I mean? And so this one hits home for me. But when I hear this question, what mainly comes to mind is, like, this is a little bit more of a mindset thing, for me, because, if you're trying to get to a place, and rather if you're trying to build a business, you need to get very comfortable that things aren't always going to go as planned. And so you're going to embark in some stuff that, is going to feel like a waste of time. And
yes, always.
And it's to be seen, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you might end up, and I almost kind of feel like there is really, and I put an asterisk by this, but it's almost like there is no wasted time. Because I do feel like there are things that add to your journey. Without it, you wouldn't be who you are, and wouldn't process the way you do. And we have a bad relationship with perceived failure and stuff like that in general. But you do have to get comfortable with investing time in things that you do not know on the other side of this is really going to pan out the way you thought. You do your due diligence as much as you can, kind of like what old boy was talking about, Max, at the top of the hour. But, you gotta run that, like, risk, because that's just like, we as entrepreneurs, business builders, like, we are the ones that take the risk so that other people can have a steady paycheck. You know what I mean? It's like we go through the trenches. We have to consider all of the variables and take the L's, but still have to figure out, like, this is a quote from, I think it's Jim Rohn. And I love it. It's this idea that business leaders don't always make the right decisions, but we make our decisions right. And so, it's the art of the pivot. You feel me? Like,
the art of the pivot is
the art of the pivot, man.
Yeah, man.
You got to know how to make a decision, not, let analysis paralysis and fear at the end of the day, like, prohibits you from just making a move. But when you make the move, in the middle of it, you might realize, this ain't what I thought it was going to be. How are we going to recover from this? Like, that's I think the conversation that needs to happen within, entrepreneurs, business owners, creatives, independent artists, as they're navigating through these things, because, that's just that is just something that's inevitable. Like, you're going to come across stuff that just doesn't go as you plan. And so
as you plan it,
that's why I say it's more of a mindset thing. Just get used to, putting time and focus into something and then not panning out, but knowing how. And that's why I say it's a mindset, like, knowing how to recover and say, like, what did I learn from this? That's the win. And now I'm more equipped to make even, more targeted decisions down the road. So,
and not to sound cliche, like, if you're not finding purpose in it any longer, it's probably time to pivot. I seen a quote where it said, some people quit early and other people stay too long. And I think that's the balance, of grinding it out. Like, if it's not making you happy and if you're not finding purpose in it, then, it's probably something that you should pivot. I remember, you probably remember the movie where the coach, they're playing football, and he has this dude do a bear crawl with his friend on his back from the 1 yard line. Okay. And the coach is like, come on, you got this. And he's at the 1 yard line. And he's like, the goal is just to get to the 50. Mm-hmm. And I think, in the movie, the kid keeps listening to his coach, just the positive reinforcement. And when he stops, he's at the 100 yard line from touchdown to touchdown.
So he didn't even notice that he blew past the 50.
He didn't even notice he blew past the 50. And I think a lot of times we're in this pain and the current situations, current circumstance. But then when you look back, you'll be like, bro, like, if you would have asked me where I wish I would have got
Yeah.
5 years ago. I wish I got to the
Wow.
50. I'm at the 100. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I think that perspective is huge.
That's a
in
bar right
whether
there,
to quit or
dog.
not.
Come
You know
on,
what I'm
man.
saying?
You know what I'm saying? He good for
Sometimes,
it. He good
you
for
know,
it every now and then.
sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes. But yeah, man, don't quit, bro.
Yeah, which actually goes into our final question. How long is too long, you know, to try and build something? You know what I mean? And you touched on it a little bit. Like I think there's some helpful considerations with that question, because that's a reality. Like I'm not a, you know, a masochist or somebody who's just like, dog, you just, you know, grind into, you know, it show itself, which in one sense I am, in another sense, that's why I think all these quotes and motivational stuff you hear on IG, yada yada, like there's always two sides to it, and I think they can equally be valid, because on one sense I will absolutely tell you, like, grind hard, put it in, like, go further than what you think you should. And then on the other side, it's like, well, there is a season to reevaluate and pivot, because maybe it's not doing what you initially thought.
Right.
And sometimes it's mysterious when that actually, you know, when you need to do that, because it's almost like you don't know what the perfect time is to pivot usually.
Right.
Sometimes, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe in the chat you guys can give some thoughts around that. But some things that I put down to consider is, I think it's okay to set a timeline to some of these decisions. Like if you're
for sure
going a new direction or something that you're considering, like when I started this journey with licensing, I said, hey, I'm giving myself 6 months, you know what I mean? And we're going to see where it gets us. But I gave myself a solid 6 months to only do this thing and focus. Yeah. And I think that allowed me to really, which was one of my other points, of having an honest estimation. Like, am I actually giving it my best? You know what I mean? Like, am I giving it all that I can, because I'm not as divided, you know what I mean, going into this new endeavor. And I think that's just even in your considerations of, is it time to pivot, just saying like, yo, have I really given it my best? And also not comparing myself in that, like my best, not Frank's best, not, you know, somebody else you're seeing on IG's best. Like, what is the gut check, you know, when you're giving your best, like, audit 100%. That. And if you're like, I'm giving my best, I've done checked all of the boxes, maybe it's time to have some conversations of, is it now the time to pivot? You know what I mean? I do think if you set some KPIs, like some key performance, you know, indicators of like, what are the metrics that make this, you know, this new endeavor worth it? You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to, you know, hit X amount of revenue. I'm trying to hit X amount of followers, hit X amount of streams, or X amount of shows, or whatever it is, or X amount of engagement. Also, like, what are those KPIs? Data doesn't lie. You know what I mean? It really can help. And I would encourage everybody to set those, you know, KPIs, or just like tangible metrics that you can look at. Like, I want, you know, 10,000 followers by May. That's very specific, and you can measure that. You know what I mean? And that helps you, you know where it is that you stand against the goals that you had set. And over time, you now have a report of, you know, all right, you know, that's why we got all these bar graphs and all this other kind of stuff to see, like, well, where are we trending? Are we trending upward? You know what I mean? Are we, you know, are we neutral? Are we going downward? Are we okay with this? Do we have more in us to kind of see if this bell curve can, you know, just stay up instead of, you know, going down? Like, so setting, you know, having some clear data points, auditing your results, and then kind of piggybacking what you were saying, that what I talked about at the top was checking in on yourself. Like, are you still enjoying this thing? Because that's important. You don't, like, we get into this thing because we enjoy, you know, we want to be able to make a living from our art, you know, at the end of the day. And there's going to be times where, you know, it's not always going to be as ideal as you think, you know what I mean? But more times than not, like, there's harder days than others, but I can, you know, 100% say I wouldn't trade what I do for a living for anything. Like, I love doing this.
100%.
Yeah, I enjoy this on a day to day, even with, you know, the frustrations and the variables. They all, you know, they all build character and they compound. But I love it. You know, I have no plans of quitting.
No complaints. Same here, bro. And just to piggyback off the KPIs, bro, like, and going back to all the previous points, just seeing how far you came, like, and it all compounds into the momentum that we're speaking about of being an artist. And when to quit. I think seeing those KPIs, when you look back and you be like, my goal was X amount, and you realize, well, hey, I crossed that 3 months ago, but you're still feeling like you're stuck. You can look at these things and say, oh, I'm clearly moving forward.
That's really
and then
good.
at the same time, on the flip side, if you're like, okay, I feel like I'm here, but you see it moving backwards, you can make adjustments.
Yes.
So it's just good to do that and take inventory of your life and your goals.
Which I feel like that's probably because we always try to have like a practical takeaway segment. And so I feel like that might be yours, but maybe you have something different.
Yeah, no,
like
that's it.
Yeah.
Practically just take inventory of your goals and where you are with your life right now. If you're an indie artist watching this, I think it would be smart to do KPIs. Give yourself a timeline, stick to it, and then look back at it in 90 days and then make adjustments from there.
Yeah.
That's literal. Just follow that. That would be an absolute practical takeaway.
Yeah. And one thing I'll add as far as my takeaway is I really want to create like that budgeting framework. So I feel like it unlocked something for me even at this stage of my career, because it wasn't very long ago when we implemented this, but it was just super like transformative for just how we handle our day to day. And it's giving me so much peace. Like I'll brag about Mercury so much, the bank that we use. To my wife, and she even loves it now.
I'm about to go look it up. I haven't heard, so you put me on.
Yeah, Mercury is fire. And then also, again, like auditing where you are, and just picking one thing to focus on. Even like that, maybe this would be a good reinforcer. We're talking about focus. Pick one thing that we've talked about to focus on that area. For this week. And maybe that is budgeting. Maybe that is, set some KPIs. Maybe that is auditing your timeline and your goals. Maybe that is, just defining what you want to focus on. Something that stood out for you. Take that time to just focus on that thing this week, and let us know what it is in the comment section. And what it is that you feel like you aren't focusing on, that you think you should be focusing on, or the things that you are focusing on now that are working for you. Like I would love to know, even in the comments, like what's been working for you in the area of focus, like what's helping you reach the goals that you're after. But that was beautiful. Good. Yeah, that was good. Good. Sweet, man. All right, let's keep this thing going. Let's hit these topical segments.
Let's do it.
I keep saying this. I need to sit down and actually go through like all of my sound effects and figure out like what are we like what's going to be the sound effect per section.
Section.
Oh my God!
But we're gonna tap into it right now, man. I got so many that I just want to offload, but I'll be so locked in. I'll be so locked in. I'll be forgetting to hit them. You know what I'm saying?
We did. I knew that one was coming.
I just had to. You know what I'm saying? I got so many. I got the Metal Gear Solid joint.
What you know about Metal Gear Solid?
I got the Metal Gear Solid joint. I got the Wilhelm scream. If you know, you know. What else we got in here? I got what is this one? Oh, that's the heat check. That's for the heat check joint.
That joint hard.
All right, man. Let's get this thing going. So we got some news for y'all. Let's talk about what's happening in music and music business. I ran across this is one thing I love. This is one thing I love about the algorithm, because I know we always talk about how addictive social media is and how much it can deteriorate your day-to-day and your brain cells and all that kind of stuff. But they algorithms, that's the thing, if you train your algorithm, it'll give you stuff that is helpful for you, and it's definitely that for this. So for this
it'll expose you.
It'll expose you to it. That's a good test too. Like go through your explore page on YouTube, on IG, and you'll see what you've been giving your time to and what's important to you. You know what I mean? So just throwing it out there.
Show your pastor.
That's crazy. All right, so let's talk about some news on the Spotify side. This taps into like AI. I ran across shout out to Ryan Schmidt. He's like one of the top music attorneys. He's the one that exposed me to this article. that Spotify introduced a new artist verification program. And so I wanted to share this a little bit. Yeah, let me share my screen so y'all can see what I'm talking about here. But essentially, it's a response to all of the AI stuff that's going on. And
it's needed.
Which I think, I don't know who, I listen to a lot of people on like Instagram, and they have hot takes on stuff, but I feel like somebody kind of predicted a version of this coming where, no, I think it was Sync Money. They were talking about, they predict a tier in Spotify where you can almost upgrade your subscription to like get only human curated music versus AI or something like that. They were predicting it. But this is a little different, which I feel like is a little bit in line of like, all right, it almost feels like enough is enough. We hear you guys. We're going to find a way to actually like sift out what is true human, created art, what is AI generated stuff.
What a crazy time.
Let me just go through the slide deck. So it says, and this is directly from Spotify. It says, introducing Verified by Spotify, our new artist verification program. In the era of AI, it's not always clear how music is made or who's behind it. Our new Verified badge gives listeners a trusted signal of authenticity. Verification requires meeting criteria such as sustained listener. I didn't read this part. Sustained listener activity, at least 10,000 monthly active listeners. That's interesting. Over 3 consecutive months. Platform compliance, good standing with Spotify's policies, no deceptive behavior, profile authenticity, signals of a real identifiable artist presence, both on and off platforms such as concert dates, merch, and linked social accounts on their artist profile. Profiles that appear to primarily represent AI generator or AI persona artists are not eligible for review. And then it says once artist profiles reach above these requirements, they will be eligible for a comprehensive review. This is why I got another reel from Jane Lee, who I'll pull up here. But this is interesting because effectively it's like what they're saying is like we're going to look at your profile to see if it looks and feels like AI. Is really what like AI. Like.
Yeah, that's
which is, you know what I mean? It's like that, because unless they have some other tools that are really like dialed in to identify like that type of behavior on it. It's like, how do you do it other than just kind of making a judgment call? Like everything else is measurable, the sustained listener activity, all this other kind of stuff, but profile authenticity, like it's just a verification process that's probably a human is going to do, I would imagine.
Facts. And how many are going to slip through the cracks during doing this?
Yeah. So it's crazy because I've been hit with some songs on Spotify where I was like, hey, it's kind of hard. And I'll look at the cover art. I'll look at, now here's a telltale to know if an artist is AI, like producing a lot of AI generated, stuff, or is legit. If you go and you see that the history of their catalog is probably between like 2025 and 2026, and it's a gang of releases, is AI. Is AI.
Ain't nobody rapping that much,
bro. All day. Come on, bro. I had an artist that was they had joined Rep.Indie, our community for TV and film, or like helping artists get into music, TV and film, and they had like they wanted feedback on their music, and I pulled it up. I saw the Spotify link they sent. I was like, okay, cool. I saw the AI art, I was like, whatever. But then I started listening to it. I was like, this is pretty good. But my antennas just went out. I was like, this just feels a little too good for some reason. And it was just kind of different flavors going throughout it. And then I noticed it was like 30 songs on an album. So I'm like, all right, yellow flag.
You're not Chris Brown, buddy.
I looked at his body of work and all the other albums. Every album, minimum 30 songs. I'm like, all right, dog. I do this for a living, and I don't got that kind of output, bro.
Come on, bro.
That
I got all the time in the day.
Yeah, I was like, nah, son, this ain't it. But check out what Jane was talking about. She gave, I think, some interesting commentary around it. And let me just refresh.
Oh no. Hey guys. Newsflash.
I hit I definitely hit the wrong reload button. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Said reload.
Reload.
Oh, good, bro.
All right, so let me see. I don't even see you no more. Hold on, let me figure this out real quick. Dang, I don't reloaded this joint to a whole new segment.
Dang,
all right, well,
can you see? It says recording.
Yeah, I just can't see you, so I guess we don't have to deal with it. But let me share my screen again. Maybe it'll wake something up. Share screen. I got a fun time editing this joint.
No, they could just pick it back up right where we start once we get it.
Sure. All right. Reload
you
this
see
page.
I just woke up and I just found out that Spotify rolled out a new feature where only artists, human artists, can be verified. AI artists will not be eligible. We're gonna check your song.
Hey, Frank, I'm gonna do this real quick. Actually, I'm gonna give you a new invite link, and we'll just edit this out.
Let's do that. Yeah, and we'll just hop right back.
Oh, actually, no. I see you now.
Okay, perfect. Okay,
we're good.
Probably just needed to load. Okay, good.
Yeah. Let me refresh real quick, and we'll just run it back. Play.
I just woke up and I just found out that Spotify rolled out a new feature where only artists, human artists, can be verified. AI artists will not be eligible. They're gonna check your socials. They're gonna check if you have tour dates. They're gonna check a bunch of things to see proof of human being. And this new badge is called Verified by Spotify. It's a green checkmark now. And maybe, just maybe, instead of leaving the AI profiles alone, you shall put AI verified. So that the people out there will know who the real person is and who the robot is. So what does this mean for you, my human beings? My human being artist, make your own music, and you're not an AI-generated AI artist, song maker.
Bro.
It means that you're equal.
Bro, she sound like she had a good time last night, dog.
Yeah, and she sound pissed, bro.
Yeah, dog. That's not a good combo.
Not having it.
It matters. It means that your story matters. It means that your socials matter.
Let's go. All right. So I thought that was a really interesting, just, piece of news that came out because it's just a hot topic especially for the music community right now. So
100%.
Yeah, dude. I love it. All right. Let's see if there's anything else. No, I didn't have, but shout out to Ryan Schmidt and Jane Lee for that one, for covering that. But
y'all.
Go ahead. What you gonna say?
I was gonna say, write your thoughts on that in the comments.
Yeah,
it's a lot to unpack.
And it's interesting too, because like I'm curious how that'll be, because there's certain artists in the sync space who create new artist projects, and they'll have an artist profile on Spotify, they'll have an IG, but like we have that. We have some projects that we did all the branding and stuff for them, but we're not super active on it. So I wonder if they'll flag our stuff.
Alternate aliases are gonna be That's crazy. The human created art is now a commodity.
Yeah.
It's gonna end up being the cool thing.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Wild work.
All right, y'all. I gotta get my sound effects back on the mix. Here we go. All right, so next up, film and entertainment news. Netflix to pay $600 million for Ben Affleck's AI company. We're gonna stay in the AI wave for the news cycle, at least for right now. But yeah, I ran across this again, and shout out to, I think it's Technology, just Technology on IG, which is crazy how they got that URL or that handle. But I saw this. I thought it was pretty dope. It said Netflix to pay $600 million for Ben Affleck's secret AI company. It says Interpositive was founded in 2022 with a team of 16 people quietly building one of the most disruptive post-production tools in the film industry that the film industry has ever seen. And so it says, here's what it actually does. It ingests raw production dailies and trains a custom AI model on your specific film, allowing filmmakers to relight scenes, remove stunt wires, reframe missing angles, enhance backgrounds, add VFX, and correct continuity errors after filming. completing tasks in days that traditionally require months of complex post-production work. This deal could change Hollywood forever. So shout out to technology for that one. I thought this was,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, what's your thoughts on this one? This was interesting to me.
man, it's I have so much to say on AI, but in terms of this specifically, as I'm not for people losing their jobs. All right. If we can if we can somehow Jeff was responsible for the VFX and now we're using AI, have Jeff control the AI for that. Don't fire Jeff. Jeff got a family.
Yeah.
But I think us being able or seeing teams being able to do in days what they would have taken maybe months or a year to get done, I think it's incredible. You can't take that away.
Yeah. I'm it's interesting because when I read this, I actually really liked the angle of, because again, a lot of the conversation around, because that was part of what the strikes that happened with the writer strike, the actor strike, all that was because of AI and this renegotiation with SAG-AFTRA and the unions and all this other kind of stuff around, like, all right, these big networks and streaming companies want to, they want to embrace this new technology, and what they're proposing is directly going to, it has a potential to really commoditize whatever, like replace humans, human jobs. So they fought for that joint. It was a stalemate, or it was a stalemate for a little bit, and then they ended up negotiating. But the context was all around, like, they wanted to basically scan the actors, like be able to use AI for script writing, like use their image and likeness to regenerate characters, kind of at will. And they were just like, nah, we ain't finna do this. So this one was actually interesting because it's I think also because it's Ben Affleck, who they were on a run, a couple, it was, I forget, they came out with a new movie on Netflix, him and Matt Damon. I can't remember the name of it. It was actually a really good flick. But I remember watching some press that they were doing around it, and he was giving some of his opinions on, like, AI, and what you would probably hope is just like, it's great tech, but it's a disruptor, but we got to find ways to kind of use it in a equitable way, whatever. This was an interesting angle where they're trying to almost use it as like a production tool. You know what I mean? So, like, there's VFX artists, there's people who, like, this stuff is kind of already happening in post production where they're removing stunt wires, like continuity stuff, like relighting scenes was interesting. And again, I feel like they do that already with just CGI and all this other kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I almost look at this as like, and I don't know how the tech actually works, but it almost feels like, could this be a version of like a plugin that's within these different, softwares that these editors are using, or whatever, to be
right.
So it's almost less of like, would this erase a job? Would it just now create the demand for, these new college grads to understand how to work this type of AI tool to kind of get rid of some of the stuff that took, it's almost, because I come from that world with Photoshop, and, I haven't been in it for a while, but I've done it enough and done it for a while to kind of get the concept of a lot of these things. And it's to the point where you can have purists who are just like, I only use certain tools to execute, the output or whatever it is, because that's how it was like for me in Photoshop. When I still get in there, I still use some of the tools that I grew up on and just are efficient for me. But they evolved Photoshop now where you can do AI within Photoshop, and you can like circle elements within and just prompt something, and it'll either regenerate it, certain areas where you had to like use a lasso tool and like work with all these different adjustment layers and so it's just, it's like the tools are just upgrading. This just feels like an upgrade to the tool versus like, hey, who's and some stuff maybe like the continuity stuff. Like, I know they have people in film that are responsible for picking out continuity, but I just wonder if now this is just a tool in the continuity advisor or manager's tool belt now to help make this more efficient. And I got another, let me stop sharing my screen. I got another like question I want to run by you. Let me stop sharing this real quick. So I got a question I want to run by you, like, because I was talking to this about my wife, and this is the idea of like, yo, the threat right now with AI is that it's replacing human jobs, and it's affecting their livelihood. And we haven't seen, and this is what I keep telling people, we haven't seen this type of disruption from a new piece of tech that's affecting so many industries at once ever. You know what I mean? Like usually we get a new piece of tech that disrupts at a time, like one at a time. Like when the iPhone came out, that's just like nobody has a home phone anymore because of the iPhone. You know what I mean? Cell phones in general, but that innovation disrupted. But it took a while for all of that to adopt. This joint is moving so fast and it's touching so many media segments. But I'm almost, and I wear two hats as like, operator, but also, business owner and, as a team and employees people. But I very big on efficiency, very, very big on productivity, but also very supportive of my team and want to make sure everybody is compensated and paid and we're not like, replacing people, unintentionally or just maliciously or whatever, like, or ignorantly is probably the better word. But part of me almost wonders if, because AI is inevitable, but I wonder if, because for me, I'm like, I desire for my team to understand, know AI and use AI so that it can help them do the things that aren't super high priority tasks that move the needle, to then be able to give that brain power to stuff that really does move the needle. And so I'm kind of pro AI in that sense, where it's just like, which I'm very aware that it has a potential to wipe out other industries. And I'm wondering how we get to that place of like, or is there a way for people to be able to like really learn the tool, execute the tool, and now level up their skill set in other areas that are only things that humans can do that add value to said business that you may be working 100%. For. Like, how do you feel about it? Because I just feel like it's going to wipe out industries, and I do think maybe there should be some checks and balances on it. But I'm like, it kind of like can help people just level up, because now they done wiped out something that you're used to doing that's not as valuable as it used to be potentially.
Right.
Now it's going to cause you to be a better, operator or a better freelancer or whatever. And I just think of that, like, I'm in the business of helping people like really get the value that they're looking for in their life. But what's your thoughts around that?
Yeah, I think personally, I'm for what you just said, as long as it's ethical, as long as it stays ethical.
What does ethical mean?
And I think that the lines on that are becoming blurred. I do think there was a video, I know when we were talking throughout the week, there was a video of a girl where a person took her being, or her likeness, or her voice rather,
I think uploaded
into AI, and then they posted it to DSPs. And now when she uploads a song, she's getting the copyright infringement block for her own voice.
Crazy. I did see that. That was
insane. That's unethical.
Yeah.
All right. And that's why I'm happy with seeing stuff what Spotify said. An ethical way, in the same token, it's the same tool. I'm not taking away the tool. The same thing. I forgot who's the singer. Charlie Puth talked about it, where he had a stroke and he lost his voice. Okay, so this is the same concept, doing the same thing, but now he's able to write songs, run it through the AI software, and it will perform it like him, and he can still express himself in that way. All right, we are two perfect mirrored steps. One is extremely unethical, okay, and one is borderline like a miracle and beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Without that tool, he wouldn't have been able to do it. And I think that as long as it stays ethical, I'm with AI. I do think if you can utilize it in your day-to-day automation, your like anything that would make the things that don't require a human connection, so to speak, faster, do it. I think that's the thing that we get caught up in anyways, that take us away from the things that actually matter. So do that.
And I think sometimes people conflate ethical to preferential, because some people just don't prefer, like, I think of like Timberland, you know what I mean? Because I don't think, well, actually Timberland might be a bad example, because I think right now using AI generated music, it's unethical in the sense of how it's being trained. You know what I mean? Which
Right.
I be thinking about this stuff.
Yeah.
Like it could actually go even broader than that, because even these large language models, they're borrowing from all of the internet, and I'm sure it's copyrighted material that is being trained off of. But don't nobody be up in arms about Claude, ChatGPT, none of this stuff. But you see it mainly in the art sector of like music. You don't hear it as much on the video side, but I feel like there probably are conversations around that. But you hear it a lot in music. Maybe we just exposed it because we're in it, but it's just like, how dare you, you know what I mean, like train your software on our music, and then now we got this problem with this oversaturation of AI music.
For sure.
But then it's just like, but you use Claude and ChatGPT, like it's probably somebody intellectual property up in there too. Like
it is. It is, and I do think that there's a place for
outrage.
Right. So I do think that there's a place. Like for instance, Splice. I love Splice. Okay.
Yeah.
Splice now has a system where they're going to integrate. I think we spoke on it. If I'm not sure if we played it or we talked about it throughout the week, where if you go on their platform and it's AI generated, it will know what artist that it pulled from to create this generation, and then it will in turn pay the artist that they trained off of. That's how you do it ethically. You know what I'm saying? So now as an artist, yes, I'll give you my voice, because then, or my cadence or whatever, because I'm making money off of it. Yeah. And then you're going to be able to create the art you want to, so it doesn't erase. We're not trying to get rid of it, because AI is not going anywhere, but it gives it a machine and a process that is ethical. You know what I'm saying? That makes more sense to me.
I agree. No, 1000%. Yeah. I just know that people got like I said, selective outrage for certain things. They do. They go up in arms about AI music, but
I'm the same way. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I'm like that all day.
I fall for it.
We all hypocrite.
Yeah, don't replace artists, but I'm finna make this.
But we replace writers
real quick.
Bow,
real quick. Edit my image real quick.
Straight up, dog. It's
you know what I'm saying? So yes,
it's interesting, but and that's why. So just to round this out, but I would love. I sent you that DM of, I forget the gentleman's name, but I love what he was building. It was a piece of tech. He's basically using AI to combat AI to be able to identify like AI generated music.
Oh snap!
Yeah, and so I would love to get him on a pod like at some point. But
that'd be incredible.
Yeah, it just and maybe probably next episode I'll maybe include that in our news cycle, because it's really dope. And I think people should follow him. I think he has like you can donate to it as well. Like, but I just think it's necessary, because it balances the scales. Because we need some accountability around it.
We do.
And I like that the tech that is threatening everybody is also being used to, balance
help
skills.
Everybody. That's usually how it goes.
Yeah. All right, let's go to our culture segment real quick. We got a fun one. I got to be careful, because
this one's crazy.
Yeah, but I don't. So again, I don't verify deeply all of these news stories. So this may or may not be true, but just the headline. The headline in and of itself, McDonald's releases a $54 a month unlimited meal subscription. Yeah, let me refresh it. We can hear the audio from my guy. Shout out to this.
What is this? Huh? What is that? $54 a month unlimited meals at McDonald's?
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me? The portion's not for 3 pounds, and then this comes up.
Hey,
I can get unlimited large fries, mac sauce with my double cheeseburger.
Crazy.
McChicken, McDonald's breakfast, McMuffin.
He's going through the whole. Bro, he a fan.
Bro.
He a fan.
Hey, the zoom in on the face, bro.
Yeah, dog.
Hey,
I saw this. All right. So this is where this is the part of the pod where I feel like I debated putting this up, because I'm like, we all know how people, historically how people have felt about McDonald's and the quality of food. I mean, there's a whole documentary, I think it's called Super Size Me. And I think the guy who actually did that experiment where he ate McDonald's for like a year or so, it was something crazy. I think he actually ended up passing. Like,
really?
Yeah, I think he passed away.
Oh no!
Like early, yeah, man. I don't know if I mean you could assume, but I don't know all of what he passed from, so I don't want to. Yeah. I don't want to put that out there, but it's so 100%. Tough because we work with brands all the time, and so I don't want to badmouth. But so this is what I will say: I do have a guilty pleasure. Like I've had, and this is when I was my eating habits weren't as locked in, and not even. I mean, yes, what I was eating, but also the time I was eating. Like it would be times where my wife sleep 2:00 in the morning. I'm ordering Uber Eats to come up to my studio door. I'd be getting in. I was like, but it'd be McDonald's. So they'd be the only ones that's open. So shout out to McDonald's if you need you just in the bind and ain't nothing around. You feel like cooking. Which I do really, really like McDonald's fries. Like I think they're goated. Yeah, out of all of the fast food chain fries, they're like top for me, but I say that Five Guys, but I think guilty pleasure, But how do you feel about this? Are you getting the $54 month? Is this you open up a budget line for this or not?
No, not now, because me and my wife we are. I'm on a health journey, weight loss journey, so I
Shout
am
out
not. To that. I'm staying away from that now. $54 when you look at your budget. And you see how much you might spend on McDonald's. If you spending over 55, this is for you. This is this is for you. Okay, go ahead and do that. Yeah. Now, what I will say, shout out to McDonald's, because what I do hope is that this seems affordable. $54, unlimited food.
So that's one thing I do like. I like the idea of. I think this is the first time we've seen. At least in a major chain, like a food subscription like that. I'm sure there's like kind of boutique, different, not boutique, but just smaller companies that
do it.
Yeah, they'll do like meal planning for you, get shipped to your house. I've seen those like meal prepping.
If Publix said $100 a month, you get 50 items, 100 items.
Yeah, I'll be on it. Yeah, I'm in there. I would probably be on it. I have to. Because I use Walmart grocery to order my groceries, and super efficient. And I feel like Walmart kind of gets a bad rap sometimes, but I really like Walmart because you can I like their app because you can kind of search and dig through. Like you can find organic stuff and different things. And that's the thing with McDonald's. Like I mean, I'm sure they don't shy away from it, or they wouldn't not admit it. Like the ingredients aren't organic, and so there's a lot of over processed. Like food options out there that maybe is good in moderation, but a consistent diet of it is just
it's not gonna cut it.
It's gonna tank your. And I think that's just like with anything usually, but but this was it was wild when I saw it because I'm like, yo, how unlimited is unlimited is what I want to know. Like, is there a cutoff point? Because
there has to be a cutoff, bro.
It has to be a cutoff, dog. Because
hey, let me get 50. Big Mac. Oh, you need my subscription number? Here's my subscription number. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, and add 17 fries. 5 large Cokes. I'll be there in 30 minutes. There has to be a limit, your subscription number? Come on, there has to be a limit. The line about to be nuts. Come on,
it reminds me of like when I got a car, like my insurance, they ask for like my policy number or something.
That's what's your policy number. That's to get your 50 Big Macs.
Your subscription number is wild, yo.
Come on, bro. But they got to figure that out. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna I'm obviously. I mean, if this is true, I don't know if they had to run the numbers. They ran the numbers, and this is more,
It makes sense though. They serve 99 billion people daily is their tagline.
Yeah,
you got enough food.
Yeah, maybe it'll balance out. You know what I mean? Because monthly recurring revenue is the goal. You know what I mean? That's how you get sustainability.
Crazy. Yeah, that's true.
Man, I gotta find
if you get the subscription, hit me up and just
Yeah, you get a buddy pass for the joint. Can you when you go to LA Fitness, you can upgrade your subscription. You get somebody in for free.
Because there must be no sharing,
right?
Like
none, bro. You pull up. You can't. You got to order for you and yourself alone. You can't pull up in a line with nobody else but you.
Crazy. Pull up in the church van.
Yeah,
everybody getting a meal.
That's what I'm saying. Like this is McDonald's, dog. Ministry, dog. This is McDonald's. You know what I mean? Like how many? I don't know, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, it can get crazy.
That's
Nuggets,
crazy. Shout out McDonald's
300.
though. Get your money, McDonald's. I'm with it.
That's crazy. I ain't mad, bro.
Yeah, man. And what's crazy too, like the that whole thing is Clips. Like Clips did that.
I know. Pusha T, right?
Yeah, Pusha T. Like they got a bag for that joint too.
And I hope he's still getting. He probably is getting that residual.
Which I got to find an interview because he talked about it before. Which I think I don't know. I can't remember which direction it went. If it was in their favor or not, if they just took the upfront bag and they get some, or they worked it out to be a little bit more lucrative. But shout out to hip hop showing up in ways that you wouldn't necessarily think. So,
hey, look, pivot.
All right. So next up, we're going to get into gaming. We got some gaming news. I was excited about this. I actually saw this before.
I got to see this mug.
Yeah, let me pull this out real quick. So, in gaming news, we got NBA The Run, which people are calling the new NBA Street. So, yeah, that's a tall order because NBA Street is legendary. If you were millennial, you came up on NBA Street.
You came up on this.
Volume 1, 2, and 3. You know what I mean? So let's see what they talking about real quick. Hold on.
Hey, yo.
Let's go! Domino's! Waffles and falafel style. Yo, this is a bun with a burger and double cheese.
Oh, it's up.
Crazy.
We all over the world. Chicago, New York, Beijing, Toronto, LA, Philippines.
International.
We got the stars. We got legendary ball players. We got what you want.
Come on.
We got status. We got cooking status. Where's your spatula and the olive oil? Bong.
All right. He going crazy right now. He went. I thought it was going in like 10 seconds ago. He went crazy on that
he going in, bro.
Hey, shout out to MOP. Shout out to MOP and EL. I feel like that has to be the most synced song in history, at least in hip hop history,
especially
bro.
for sports.
Oh my God! Like we need to do we need to ask ChatGPT like how many places that thing or Claude, excuse me,
bro.
How many places it got? But so initial thoughts. What's your first reaction to this?
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm handing out L's from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m.
It's like that.
If you want it, it's just I'm running that. It's a mixture between NBA Street and NBA Jam. Now, you remember NBA Jam?
Yeah. You wanted one.
I'm showing my age here, bro.
Yeah,
but that's Super Nintendo. But that joint looks spectacular.
Which was like NBA Street was a spinoff of that essentially. But this this is interesting, and actually this version that you're looking at because I saw this like some months ago because they actually like the NBA. So it was a different game. I forget what it was called, but it was essentially what we're looking at right now. But it didn't. I don't think it had the like a licensing structure in place to use NBA players and all that. So it was just random characters that they. But it had this aesthetic. And I think the NBA stepped in and was like, "Hey, we want to kind of be a part." So they had released a whole trailer for this original.
That's amazing
one, and then they basically said, "Hey, this is getting upgraded now. The NBA is a part," and they started putting the players in the game.
Oh, that's incredible. And, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, this version of the trailer actually looks more exciting than the last trailer that I saw from the NBA run because this feels a little bit more like kind of fun and a little bit more like comic character driven, not just like it's just NBA players and. They're
more polished.
Yeah, or maybe just more illustrative and more like because that was why I like this too because I've kind of stepped into gaming like I have a big gap from when I really used to game to like I just got my PS5 for Christmas, you know what I mean? But before that I had an Xbox that was gifted to me that I kind of hardly played and it was always like GTA or just some games that I was kind of used to when I was heavy in it, but like games nowadays, bro, I feel like you gotta go to college to understand how to really like play these things.
On some of these, and they be sweaty, bro.
Like Call of Duty, like it's just so many features and it's way more advanced than what I was used to, but it's a learning curve. It's still dope, you figure it out. But, but this just feels like what I was. I get excited for games like this because, like, I could rock. I don't have to overthink with this one. We just pull it out.
And that looks like you could take it back to nostalgia, because in nostalgia sells, bro. Like that looked like a couch game.
Yes.
Where you hand the controller to somebody else. That's back. We back to that, which is gonna be great. Because gaming kind of lost that a little bit, where everything is just online and it's just interpersonal, where it's just your setup and then somebody online. But you gonna come over and we gonna whoop you in person.
Right, you know right. Yeah, because I'm still trying to get used to playing online with folk that I don't really know. You know what I mean? Like
it's weird. It's not the same, bro. But
even like I just hit you up the other week. It's like, hey, bro, what's your handle on PS5? You know what I mean? Because I know you, so I'll play online with you. But if I don't run, co-ops or with people that I'll be solo all day. Like,
yeah, bro. I can't do it.
But I like the fact that people do it. I almost wish maybe it's just I don't have enough courage yet. I need to get built up.
Yeah, I don't got it. I don't got it in me, bro. I be all nervous. I'm like, I don't
know. Yeah, they finna smoke. They finna record this and make a viral meme out of me.
Off me and I'm cooked. I'm gonna say something I'm not supposed to.
Nah. Yeah, we gonna have to do a segment of just people getting flamed, because I'll be seeing these art raider joints,
bro. Arc Raiders is evil, bro. They just evil.
Evil, dog.
They sinful, bro.
Shout out NBA Run if you're excited for that. Let us know in the chat.
Set that out.
And throw your handles in the chat too. Maybe we'll we'll add you on and see if we can get a little community run.
I'm gonna pick a random handle and I'm gonna hit you up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna smoke you live.
All the smoke. Let's get it.
Come on now.
All right. The last one I just want to talk about sync licensing news, man. What's going on in sync? For you, and I can kick it off if you want, because we found out the other day we got a nice little Xbox spot, little Xbox promo. You know what I'm talking about, around nice little 5-figure stack. I can't disclose too many numbers publicly. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But,
you can't. They don't need to know.
You know what I mean? Couple 5 figures out there.
Hey.
So that was big news, dope news.
Big news.
I feel like we had something else. I'm drawing a blank right now. But what's been in your world on the sync side, dude?
Right now I am working with a company, and I'm in that phase where they are a sync library. I've worked with them before, but they came back, which is a good tale. And I'm sending them a whole 10-song album. So I got to do that, and then let's see what syncs land from there.
Who's the library bringing that?
D Wolf. You ever heard of D Wolf?
I haven't heard of D Wolf.
We recently did a project with them, and I've seen my BMI check. The royalties definitely take a jump.
Are they like sub through anybody? Like, is it like D Wolf
they
and they
work
have a
directly? Let me not over. I don't want to get this part wrong. If I'm not mistaken, are they with APM?
Okay. Which is encouraging to me, because we're getting these these projects on APM. So
APM is great.
Yeah, shout out APM.
The third library that I've worked with that also works with APM. So they're
For those who don't know, the big ones is like APM. Sony has a big one. Warner, BMG. These are like Warner Chappell. Yeah, like these are the big dogs, and a lot of smaller libraries are kind of feeders into these bigger ones. So
for sure,
for those who didn't know that,
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
Who they're working through, but it's one of those. I know we talked about it in passing via like our Zoom meeting or our email.
Okay.
But it's either Warner Chappell or APM. It's one of the two.
Okay. Dope.
Yeah. So I love that. And working with that, I was watching Bel Air. I was catching up. And our songs were riddled throughout there.
Wow! Come on,
and I'm like, that's crazy.
Let's get it.
So just continuing to like work that with them, and it's dope.
I love it. Good stuff. So let me ask. I did have this question. I'll answer this too. What was your favorite placement that you've gotten? And how did you come about it? And what was the fee range that you got paid out for that you remember?
Favorite. Let me see.
And if you need time to think, I can kick it off.
Yeah, no, go with yours, because I'm trying to pick between a couple. Go with yours.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like hands down is the Black Panther spot that we got is always,
a dream, bro.
A go-to. You know what I mean? Like when we got that, it was like, yo. And that was a 5-figure deal as well. And that came about through an agency that we work with called Lyric House, and shout out Lyric House. And
dope.
Yeah, man. And I remember where I was when it happened too. Like I was flying to LA actually, and I had landed. Actually, no, I lied. That was the Fortnite one that we won and then we lost. So that was a different
superstar.
Story.
We got a superstar in our hands.
No, not even. But
no, that's what
I think that one just came through email. They just hit us up. But I remember the email coming through, and I hit on my partner Shalom, and I was just like, because it was one of them things where we didn't get prepped for it. It was just like, hey, we got you a Black Panther 2 promo spot. And we was like, wait a minute, what?
Oh, it was done.
Yeah, like it was.
Oh, that's crazy.
So we were just like, you got to warn me. You can't just throw this in my inbox and just casually slide in. We got a Black Panther 2 spot. You know what I mean? But
that's huge.
Beauty of sync licensing and get your music and TV and film. Can't beat it. So
man, Liz, I would say that I have two stories here, and it should encourage in terms of the placements. We had got a placement with Porsche.
Okay.
So Porsche used our song, right? And that came about working through with Artlist.
Okay.
So they had said, hey, they had sent it to me and was like, hey, Porsche wants to use this song specifically, and I was like, oh, this is great. So we seen that. Didn't pay as much. Mm-hmm. And then I had another placement that is with Hooters, right? So crazy. So I'm just like, all right, cool. Hooters is dope.
I'm sure that's your wife's favorite spot. But
no, come on now. So we had one with Hooters. It might be
depending on how much you paid.
Listen, that's what I'm getting on. That's what I'm getting. You hear a company like Porsche, you're like, oh man, they got and then Hooters, and I don't mind sharing it. They came through and they gave, just to put in perspective, each collaborator got $20K. I'm just gonna say that. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say yeah. So at the end of the day, you hear Hooters and you're like, not that. I mean, they're a big brand. Don't get me wrong. I ain't trying to slight on Hooters. Love you guys. Thank you. But yeah, 20. That's
each collaborator got 20 racks.
Yeah,
that's wow. I have another one. It was similar to that, where we had a spot for a bigger, like one of those warehouse grocery stores, like a Costco, Sam's Club, that type vibe. It was for one of them, and it was a Christmas spot that they were wanting to do. We wrote for that. It was like, 5 or so people on the show. I can't remember how many people. It might have been less, but they basically paid us. Everybody got a 5-figure check, like, for that song. We got paid that joint, and they never aired it. Like they just scrapped it.
Beautiful.
Right. And it was crazy because like my part wasn't like a crazy amount that I contributed to it, but it was a 5-figure payout. You know what I mean? And they didn't even use it, which is wild to me. Like, I don't know who's behind them business decisions, because if it was my business and we using it, I don't care who it is. We were using it for a couple years, you know what I mean? But,
facts.
Facts.
And a testament to that too. So we did the Hooters joint that year. They paid us, and they were like, you know what? Instead of creating a brand new ad all over again,
they're gonna run it again
next year. We ran it again. Guess what happens when they run it again?
Fee go up.
It comes back.
The fee go up too.
That fee go up. You know what I'm saying? That joint was yeah. Lovely. So that's one of my more lucrative, but my favorite, because I love Porsche, was the landing the Porsche joint was dope.
Yeah. Good stuff. I love it, man.
Bro.
All right, y'all. We had another one for the books, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Excited. It's the Neue.Indie podcast. We're figuring this out as we go. So we need y'all feedback in the comments, man. How we been doing with some areas of opportunity for us, but with some things that y'all been digging about, how we've been curating this. We always go over time. I think we've been on this thing for 2 hours. It's supposed to be the goal was for it to be an hour podcast.
Hey, we got a lot of content.
I don't think it's going to happen, but it's been fun, and I hope
it's been great.
Yeah, it's been super dope. So. We're still gathering questions from you guys. So if y'all have questions that y'all want us to, potentially unpack on here, get a chance to get, one of your burning questions to something maybe we're talking about, or just, something we're not talking about. Want to get our opinions on it, hit the link in the show notes. And also too, if you got wins, we want to celebrate your wins. And it's a birthday, is it honeymoon, first child, whatever it is, you know, McDonald's subscription, you know, we want to celebrate with you.
We gonna celebrate the McDonald's.
We want to celebrate it with you because that's a come up. I mean, you getting it for the low. That's budgeting.
500 Big Macs a month. That's crazy.
That's you open up the budget. You know what I mean? You ain't gotta worry about the grocery budget no more. Just hit up McDonald's.
That's wild.
You regained your time and you got your money back. You know what I'm talking about? So, but anyway, any final thoughts for the viewers?
No, thank you guys so much for rocking with us. I mean, if you made it this far in and watched the whole video,
you're a real one. Like 1,000%.
You're a real one. Yeah. Go ahead and make sure you subscribed.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like we need to have like little, like my better country. We need to have like little things. Like giveaways or something like that only for people who make it this far in the podcast.
Yeah, if you made it this far, hey, we want to tell you.
Yeah.
We'll give you something. Let us know in the comments you watched the whole thing.
Yeah,
we gonna know if you watched it.
We might surprise you with something.
Else. Yeah, we might. Yeah, nothing else, man.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing else, so I got to go kick it with the fam. But we love y'all, and we just excited to be here and appreciate y'all. You know, listen to all of our nonsense. So we sound like we got it figured out, but we still right along with y'all. So
facts. Come on now.
All right, y'all. We up out of here. Let's get it.
Yes, sir.
We'll go ahead and end this. Stop.